Okay, welcome back. I flipped the camera around and I'll begin to unload. I'm not going to be as detaily on each item because some of you are kind of bored with that. These are pieces that will go on a wind chime. Got little birds, butterflies, little red bird, and another leaf. One is kind of an orangey color like fall. The other has got a little more brown on it. Oh, I'm out of the camera. I have to watch that. Okay, so that's those pieces. That was on the bead rack that I showed. All right, I told you I had some little tiny pieces that I fired on my bed of nails. Here's what we call a bed of nails. You can see the little spikes on it. And I had the little eggs. I have chickens that go with these eggs. You'll see in a little bit. And I did glaze them in chun blue because I wanted it just a pale blue. We have chickens that lay eggs those colors. I've made several leaf plates, but I've used different molds and other things to make my leaves. This is the first time I used a real leaf. So here is the leaf bowl. You can see. Put some underglaze under it to darken the lines, and then glazed it with a Celadon. And of course I've got Dianna's Mud Shop written on the back. And I did do like an ancient jasper around the edges. Alright, I made a coffee pour over set. It has the two mugs. Here's what the mugs look like. You can see on the inside. And here is the coffee pour over. You can tell I've got the camera in a little bit different place. And you set it here and you put your coffee filter in it and your coffee, and you just wait on it and let it will drain through here and make your coffee. It'll seep your coffee. Right? And so I made a set of two mugs that match in the coffee pour over. Alright, here are my witness cones. The cones are in 4, 5, and 6. 4 is completely melted. It reached cone 5. It's bent all the way down. Cone 6 just slightly bent, so it got between a 5 and a 6, and that's what I wanted. Because I have ancient copper on the inside, and it takes right out of 6 for the ancient copper to turn its copper color. Alright, here is a luminary. This, you put a candle in here. I've got to pop the bottom loose, but the bottom comes loose. It's supposed to. And I can get my tool and make this work. Here we go. Alright, easy peasy. Alright, so here's the bottom. You put your candle in it, put this on top, and it's got the holes to let the light shine through. And this is the poinsettia. It matches the poinsettia set that I'll have on display at Christmas at the church. So it goes over here in a different place because those dishes do not go in the showroom. Alright, I've been working on a tea pitcher with a sculpture. This was a challenge for April, to April showers and April flowers. So here's the flower on it. And we were supposed to have a pouring vessel, and I put a little bluebird on this side, and we're supposed to do a sculpture. So I sculpted a little bird, so he stands out on this side, and I sculpted the little limb with leaves. And so here's, this one is flat, this one is sculpted. You can see it stands out. And here's the inside. So this is my little tea pitcher. It turned out very well. I'm pleased. You know, you're seeing everything raw as it comes out of the kiln. So if it has a little white spots on the bottom, that's just from the kiln wash on the shelves, and that will be sanded off. Here is one of my clay extruding baskets. The clay puzzling mold. You extrude the clay in little tiny coils, and I rolled them up and made the bottom and then the sides. and then I braided them to make the handle, and it's got Dianna's Mud Shop written on the bottom, a little basket. Alright, another extruded bowl. This is a gray on the bottom, and a little, this is a fire brick red on the top. On the camera it doesn't really look fire brick color, but it is. It's got a little more of an orange tint than what the camera's, maybe closer, yeah, it's picking it up. But it's the gray color with it. Now if you wanted to tie a leather strap over to have a tall handle, you could do that with this one very easily, because it's got the holes in it all the way around from the clay puzzling. And my big vase I've been working on, this is gray and orange, and I like the way these colors went together pretty well. I wanted fall colors, so this is what I ended up with. I did do a little bit of a cream at the top, but it's kind of blended in. It melted on down into it. You see down inside the vase. Of course, you wouldn't put water in this vase. This would be good for plastic flowers, or you could put water this deep in it. It would be water safe there that far. And of course, Dianna's Mud Shop on the bottom. Alright, and that's it from the first shelf. I did make a few little pieces that they were just pieces of the clay that I put under the top of the coffee pour over, because it had a flat surface and I didn't want it to slump in the mold, so I put the pieces under it and bisque fired them, and I kept those same pieces and put them under there whenever I glaze fired it. So these can be used as little props, or you can take it and use it to scrub the bottom of the pieces to break off the kiln wash and stuff. So I'm gonna lift this. This is a solid whole shelf. Get it above the elements there. I mean the okay. All right. In here is another clay puzzling basket, and I did this the ancient copper. And this is why I wanted the kiln to completely cool, because I wanted that shine, that copper shine. And it did get the copper. It's hard to pick it up on the camera, very hard, but it does have the copper shine to it. You can see a little bit of a shine in the camera, but texture turquoise on the top. And I did the spiral around it. Of course, you can't put liquid in this, it's not going to hold it, so the spiral separating some at the bottom just goes along with the sides. Good fruit basket. You could actually use it as a berry bowl. You could drain your water out of it. But it turned out pretty. All right, pick up my posts. Get them out of the way. Did another clay puzzling. This one is like the basket, but I did a more solid bottom, and I did the swirls around the sides, and then I did a couple around the top. So these were all made out of the extruded coils. Isn't that good? And I did get to stamp this one on the bottom. Alright, since it's fall time, it's also pumpkin time, so I got started on making pumpkins. This is a tangelo on the outside, and I used underglazes for the stem. It's supposed to be a brown, and then the green leaves. And it's stamped. I've got a set of 3 of those pumpkins, so there's some others that match it. Alright, a couple months ago I did the chip and dip set that match. The bowls that went with this are already fired, and in the showroom they're just set to the side to not be seen just yet till I got this part left. This is the large plate that goes with that set. It's a clear glaze on the outside, And I did an underglazed green on the inside and then clear glazed over it. You can see I used a stencil. And it's just like the stencils you put paint on your walls or doing other decorative art. You just lay the stencil on it. You do have to press it in to keep the glaze from leaking under it like it did here. But once it leaks under, if you wipe it off, you have to start all over. So I just left that little spot. But and then you just glaze over it and let it set, pull the stencil off. You do have to let it dry and then form your piece. So that turned out well. When there's no cracking on a large plate and no warping, I'm happy. All right, this is the middle plate to my daughter-in-law's set. She wanted the ancient copper. You can see it does have the shine to it. So it is hard not to open the kiln to peek, but I did not open the kiln at all. This is texture turquoise, ancient copper. Turned out well. I kind of wish I'd have put maybe one more coat of the texture turquoise because it kind of faded out, washed out a little bit. The hotter you get, the more it kind of washes out. But I still like it. It's pretty. And I'm sure she'll love it. All right, through with that shelf. I'll lift it up, out. It also is a whole shelf. All right, here are the other plates that go with that set. Now you can see this one did not shine. It turned brown. It did not get quite as hot as the other plate did. That's what happens when you put it in a different location in the kiln. But it is still ancient copper. It just didn't shine like that one did. And the little one that for that set did the same thing because it was on this same shelf. Now I can refire it, but it's still no guarantee it's going to shine. Sometimes it just turns brown. Ancient copper has its own mind to do what it wants. But ancient copper texture turquoise. That is the set of 3. There'll be the hole in the middle is so that I can use a metal tier set and put them together and tier the plates. And she wanted the silver color, and so this is the tier set that I'll use with it. All right, next is another plate. I glazed the same way to do a chip and dip set. So this is the ancient copper, and there's no hole in the middle, so it goes with the chip and dip set. So there's another small one in there. Pick up the post. I have one more extruded bowl. And I did it in a orange, it's Crown Heights, with a little bit of cream around the edges. Kind of melt in, you can see. And it's got Dianna's Mud Shop. And of course, with it being extruded sides, it's not to hold liquid at all. I don't really concern myself a lot about this part here. You don't put water on it. You extrude it and you put it together pretty quick before the clay has time to set or dry. And you just kind of mash it together a little. But I didn't want to mash out all the coil look. I wanted to keep that coil look. So it won't hold liquid, but it wasn't going to hold liquid if the bottom was solid. All right, lift up these. About got to the bottom. Short, sweet unloading. When you have tall pieces and big pieces, it fills the kiln up pretty quick. All right, in it, I have the bottom of the plate of a chip and dip set. Now the little dip plate bowl thing that is this color, got little stripes on the side, and it's made where when it is put here, it looks like a flower. So I don't have it here. It is actually in the showroom waiting on this piece to come join it. So what I'll have to do is take a picture of it. I'm wiping the bottom off because I had used grog on the shelf to keep it from cracking, so that way as it shrunk it would move, wouldn't be too heavy and crack. Okay, pick up the last post. In the bottom, I told you I'm working on some fall dishes. So I made some little spoon rests. And I made them the fall orange with a little black underneath. A little bit of cream on the head and beak and tail. This is a little hen dish. And these are little pumpkin dishes. And I did a little bit of a Georgie's Interactive Pigments with the green on the stem, so it would show up a little bit and kind of look like a pumpkin. But these are little spoon rests. Chickens and pumpkins. Alright, I also told you that the pumpkin that I got out a while ago was a set of 3. So I guess I could make some and call them salt and pepper shakers, but I never think about it while I'm making them. So this is the medium and large size that goes with the bigger one that I had. So that's the little pumpkins. It turned out well. They're cute. Alright, I also have the little eggs. The eggs go along with the rooster and 2 little hens. Here's my little rooster. See my little rooster. And here's 1 little hen. Get the little tail feathers. And here's 2 little hen. These are all hand sculpted. I did put holes in the bottom of them so that they would dry quicker and I could fire them quicker. But these are a set with the little eggs. Now I need to make a little nest for the eggs, I guess. Would be something good to do. Alright, then here is the little bowl for the chip and dip set. It didn't shine either, the copper. But I did let the kiln stay shut and slow cool. I did not open it till all the pinging had stopped and it was completely cooled down, never even peaked. So this is the set, the chip and dip set. Alright, and while I was sculpting one day, I just sculpted a little puppy. So here's a little puppy. If he reminds you of someone you know, you would love to have this sitting on your shelf. The little sculpted puppy. Okay, and the last pieces I have, I've been trying to make some little flowers, and so here are my little hand sculpted flowers. I did this one on a little flat disc and worked from the outside in, and turned out all right. A little flower, and this one is a little red, kind of like a rose. I did smoky merlot on the ends of the leaves of each petal and a little bit in the center. This was yellow with the smoky merlot on top. This is the yellow by itself. So I wanted to do more than one kind to see how well it would do. And this one has a hole in it here to hang it with, so you can either have it sitting on a coffee table on a lace doily or something, or you can hang it on a wall. Either one. This one is the same way. It can either sit on a table or it's got the hole to hang it on the wall. It should fit it on a nail very well. So here's the sculpted flowers. Now this one has leaves, this one does not. It's just the flower. Okay, and that is everything. Close this up. Lock it. And that's where it will stay until I get enough to fire again. And I will turn this around where you can see everything on the table. Now when I have it here, I can't see what you're seeing, so I'll try to do my best. Okay, so there is Cassie's set, my daughter-in-law. There's the chip and dip set. There's the flowers. This will be a chip and dip set. And this one is a 3-plate set. Need to get a little further away, don't I? Right, and that's everything from the kiln. So, there you go. Coffee pour over set. And the tea pitcher. And the vase. Alright. That's going to do it for today at Dianna's Mud Shop. Thanks for joining me. And till next time.